Hey everyone, welcome back to Most Amazing Top 10. I'm your host, Chade Arena. What's some of the best parts about Reddit? Well, you can use it to discuss TV shows, find out the latest memes, and complain about pretty much anything. But one of the best hidden features of Reddit is scary stories. Some of the most bone-chilling tales ever written are tucked away in some of the far corners of the Redditverse, and I did some digging to find them. So today we're going through our list of top 10 scary stories told on Reddit. Make sure you stick around for the top 3 and let me know which order you would have put them in. As always, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and hit the little notification bell. And without taking any longer, let's get into it. Number 10. The end result is the same. This one was thrown onto Reddit by Reddit user Queen of Scots. Ruthie was older now, just had passed her 85th birthday a few months ago, and now her body was starting to go. Her vision was poor, she had trouble moving, and she didn't always make it to the bathroom on time. One night she received a knock at the door. She opened it to reveal a tall figure draped in a dark hood. She thought it must be death, and her time had come. The tall figure stretched out his hand, and Ruthie took it. But it wasn't cold and stiff as she thought Death's hand would be. It was shaky and sweaty. Then he started guiding her to the driveway, and it seemed like there was a car parked in front of her house. But why would Death drive a car? Will it hurt? Said Ruth, looking up at Death's skull face. But it wasn't a skull face. It was a pale, pimply face, and through grinning teeth he said yes. Ruth would try to scream, but the gag muffled her noise, and it did hurt. Ruth would meet Death, just not the way she imagined. Number 9. The experiment. Moving on, we have one posted by Reddit user AR Junks. Dave was working late one night in the lab and the phone rang. Hello, this is Dave speaking. Hello, this is Dave speaking. The caller shouted, "Whatever you do not pick up the phone." Then the call went dead. How did the caller get the lab number, and who would waste their time trying to prank call this late at night? He went back to his work. He was almost at a breakthrough. If this experiment went right, this new energy could change the world. Just then the phone rang again. Furious, he spun his chair around to grab the phone. He accidentally knocked his workstation, and everything went black. He wasn't in the lab anymore, but it was just empty darkness for miles. Hello? He yelled out, but there was no answer. Just then he got an idea. He pulled out his phone. It was almost dead, but it had a little reception. He called the lab. Someone picked up, and he heard, "Hello, this is Dave speaking." Number 8. The pills. Our next one was written by K.R. Sham. I developed a sickness. The doctor prescribed me some pills. I was very sick, so thank God I had my wife with me. She made sure I took my little red and blue pills every 6 hours. As time went on, my sickness only got worse. My skin got pale, I grew weak, and my eyes became sunken. My wife reached out to the doctor and he seemed to think an increase in medication would help. So now I was taking a dose every 4 hours. My condition only worsened. One day while my wife was out at the grocery store, I noticed that it was time for me to take my medication. It was a struggle, but I managed to make my way to the medicine cabinet. There were little red and blue pills spilt all over the cabinet, so I grabbed the pill bottle to put them back in. I opened it, and that's when I saw it. My pills were white. Our number 7 on this list is The Shed, written by Minboy. At the edge of the Warrens' property sat their shed. It was an older, creaky thing with no windows and a massive padlock on it. It kept everyone out except for the Warrens' patriarch, Jeff. The Warrens had 2 boys, Jeb and Evan, who both knew to never go in the shed. If they ever asked their mother about it, she would quickly change the subject. One day the boys were playing catch in the backyard. A missed pass led the ball tumbling towards the shed. Evan ran over to retrieve the ball and saw that the door of the shed was just opened ajar. "Wow, Dad must have left it open. Let's look inside," said Evan. No way," said Jeb. "Dad will skin us alive." Jeb turned and ran back to the house without looking back to see if his brother followed. That night when Jeb came down for dinner, he saw 3 place settings instead of 4. His mother's eyes were red like she'd been crying, and his father was carving a roast. "Where's Evan?" asked Jeb. "I don't know anyone named Evan," replied his father. 6. The Wanderers. We have another one coming our way of K.R. Shan. The atmosphere changed one summer and wiped out everything. No crop would grow, the rain wouldn't fall, and people were starving. Andrea was running back to her house carrying a bundle. She burst through the door, locked it, she went straight to the trap door, and laid the bundle down. Then she heard them, the Wanderers. They were savages that would travel in the search of food. They would kill people for rice. They bashed down the door, walked in, and saw Andrea. "I heard you have food," said one of the Wanderers. "I don't have anything," said Andrea. The Wanderers searched the whole house and found nothing. Just when they were about to leave, a baby's cry broke through the silence. So you do have food. Number 5. The accident. This next one was also written by Minboy. Dave was driving home after a late night at work. He had been pushing himself hard at work, so he was exhausted. He was a little too tired to see what was coming when a cyclist came out and cut in front of him. He hit him dead on. The person tumbled over his hood, and in a panic, he sped off. Why did he run, he thought? He should have stayed. He got home, rushed inside, and sat on the couch for hours, feeling fear like he had never felt before. He thought it was only a matter of time before they connected this to him. Just then, there was a knock at the door. He answered, and standing there was a police officer. Dave was frozen. "Mr. Mandelson?" said the police officer. A yes barely creeped out of Dave's mouth. "I'm very sorry to tell you this, but your son was struck and killed on his bike this evening." Number 4. Tired. "I'm so tired lately. I have so much trouble sleeping, and when I do fall asleep, I wake up in strange places, like standing in the bathroom or living room. Sometimes I have strange dreams that seem all too real. One night I'm struggling to fall asleep, so I decide to get up and make myself a snack. I go to the kitchen and start cutting some vegetables, and I slice into my finger. But it doesn't hurt my finger. It grows back. And then I realize I'm dreaming, so I decide to push the limits, cut off another finger. It also grows back. Well, I should see if I can fly. So I go to head up to the roof, but then I slip and fall. This wakes me up, and when I come to, I'm on the kitchen floor in a pool of blood and missing 2 fingers. Number 3, the mirror. Rebecca finally found the perfect mirror to hang in her room after her ex left with the last one. That night she hung it up, grabbed a good book, and cuddled up in her room. It was getting late, and she heard the phone ring. It was her ex-husband Randy. She rolled her eyes and ignored the call. Just then, she saw a shadowy figure in the mirror. She got up to take a closer look, and the shadow formed into an image. It was her ex-husband standing in a room with a handgun. She turned to look, but there was nothing there. When she looked back at the mirror, it had cleared as well. Feeling very frightened, she called the police. She was unsure what to say, so she told them that she thought Randy might kill himself. An hour later, her phone rang. It was the police. "Mrs. Hara?" said the officer. "We found your ex-husband's car. The door to her room started to creak open. It's parked outside your house." Number 2, sleepwalker. This used to happen a few years ago when I was still living at home. I would get woken up by my 4-year-old sister just standing in my room. She was sleepwalking. This would happen to my parents as well, and a few times we found her standing at the top of the stairs. My parents were worried she would fall down the stairs, so they installed a child gate. Once in the middle of the night, I woke up to go to the bathroom, and I saw my little sister standing at the top of the stairs. She was pointing down to the bottom. It was a little unsettling, but I just led her back to her room, and then went back to bed. When it turned to summertime, sometimes I would hear my sister up late at night talking to herself. It was pretty cute, but sometimes I swear I would hear a deep voice respond to her. I eventually went off to college, but we never knew why my little sister would sleepwalk, and why it seemed like she wanted us to lead her downstairs. Number 1, missing boy. 2 weeks ago, my son went missing. I did everything I could do to find him. Filed a police report, search parties, posters, but there was no sign of him. I'd given up hope. I told the police to give up hope, but they didn't. They showed up at my door with a huge smile on their faces. In front of them was my son. They said they found him wandering in the forest at the edge of town. I took him in, but I knew this wasn't my son. Late at night I would find him standing in the doorway of my room. When I would get up to check if it was him, he would just disappear. He talks like my son, he acts like my son, he looks like my son, but I know this is not my son. I know this because 2 weeks ago, I killed my son and buried him in the forest at the edge of town. Well everyone, that's our list. Let us know in the comments which scary stories you liked the best, and who's your favorite scary story author on Reddit. As always, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and hit the little notification bell. Until next time, I've been your host, Chade Arena, and I hope these scary stories keep you up late at night.